All right. Good morning, everybody. Going to be doing a coding stream this morning, not a gaming stream. Let me get my phone up so I can watch it over there. All right, cool. So, I will be getting the music going shortly. But let me explain what the issue is, and then I'll go through and try to fix it. My hope is that this shouldn't be too bad to fix. The last coding stream I did, I got to where I thought it was going to be finished, and I realized I'd hit a wall. And actually, what I ended up doing is in the overview. Come on. Where did I put this? Yeah. So basically saying, like, one thing is if you've ever wanted to just have it mock multiple interfaces, you could do something like have these three, because mock has a way to do this MOQ, but all you have to do is create your own intermediary type and then mock that one. The curiously repeating generic parameter, that's the thing I ran into. And the way Rox generates code, it basically runs into a wall. So if you do have that case, again, you can create your own intermediate type, mock that, and then go from there. So I don't know if there's really any way to get around this. This isn't a problem per se. This is just a convenience. This is somewhat of a problem that you can get around, but it's not ideal. Not ideal. So in any event, this is a bug, and hopefully I'm going to be able to fix this. That's my hope. So the thing is, if you have in an assembly a type that's internal, but you've made it visible to your test assembly, then if this is public, this type is public, this will work. You'll be able to mock it. Rox picks it up correctly that you should be able to see it. But if you make this type internal, you start getting errors. And I don't know why. And that shouldn't happen. It should be able to see that. So we got to fix it. So let's get into it. Let's get my music going here. Have something going on in the background. And I already have a branch set up. So I made a note here. Let's go find that. Because there are types, or I'm sorry, there are tests already that I've created that do some testing with internals visible to. And that's important because I need to I don't know how to say this. Internals visible to test project. And I'm not sure, is that what I think that's what I automatically call the project that's actually built when you use the testing infrastructure. And that's right, because what am I doing here? Oh, that's right. This test is showing, let me turn this down just a little bit. This is showing that if you generated a type, you actually have to create a name that is unique, because now Rox can see it, or the test project can see it. So, but this at least gets us to where I can actually do a compilation. I won't have to run the generator because that's not the point of what I'm doing here. But this should get me a source compilation, and then I can do a metadata reference, and then add the source references. And then that gets added down when we do this, right? Yeah, additional references. So more or less use this as a template to handle this internal case. So let's go to tests. I don't have any internal generator tests, we'll call it. Or did I already change all these? Because I think... Oh no, I didn't. Okay. So we're going to want to test. Generate when type parameter is public, async. And then we're going to want one where we say is internal. Right now, when I get these tests set up, this one should pass, this one should fail. So let's get the source, let's just grab all this. And we don't need to do the generator driver or anything like that. We just need to say source references. There, cool. Now, let's go back to my code. And what we want to do is say test project. And then we want the data stuff. I think data stuff can just be a public sealed record. Data stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. Wait, I do need that. Otherwise it doesn't know what internals visible is. Okay, so we got that set up. So the interface is internal, but the type of the parameter, and I'm guessing the return type also needs to matter. So let's do these two for now, but I'm thinking there's indexers with their parameters. It could get a little dicey. So now we're going to do code here. And now we want to mock a type of class I do stuff. Oh, let's do create and makes. So we want var create generated code is that, var make generated code is equal to that. And then we're going to run our generator. And what we want is I do stuff. The create, and this will be the create, and then put that over there, do that, and make. Now we should be able to at least generate the code in this case. This should be fine. Or not. What am I missing? Oh, it's not happy because we don't have an implementation here. And we want this to be an internal one. We'll focus on this one now. There we go. I don't like what's happened in Visual Studio recently. If you notice, there was a whole bunch of errors that showed up, and that was quite annoying. Because it was basically I just didn't have the right thing. The right spot, if that made any sense. Okay, so Okay, and now I need to get the make code. I'm not under a time crunch, but I do need to run some errands today and do some stuff. So I'm hoping to keep this stream to 2 hours max, if possible. Okay, so now we should be actually able to run this. And it passes. Good. Now this one should work, but it's not going to. Oh, that's cute. Well, okay, let's just go with it. Because it's actually a little surprising that it generated code. And I did confirm this. I'll bring up a Visual Studio project that shows that this actually does fail. So otherwise I wouldn't even have gone through the pain, so to speak, of actually trying to do a stream on this, because I figured, well, this is failing. And so this might be some very tricky surgery if I can't get this to fail now. And that passes. Well, that was unexpected. That was very unexpected. So here's the project that I worked on that shows that this doesn't work. So I have a class library that has, there are namespaces. I don't really know if that makes any difference. I guess I could try that, but I really don't think that makes any difference. And it has the type with the method, and it's saying that things are invisible to the test assembly. And I believe the name of the assembly just ends up being the name of the project if you don't explicitly set it or anything like that. And this works because this is public, even though this is internal. You notice that it picks up the type, it all works fine. But if I come back here and I make data stuff internal, it all goes kablooey. And it will say it has inaccessible abstract members cannot be mocked. The type I do stuff has no members that can be overridden. And I'm like, I have no idea why it thinks it's doing this. The only thing I could think of is if I don't put them in namespaces. Does that matter? Because that's what my test is doing. It doesn't have them in namespaces. That shouldn't matter. But let's do this, and let's do that, and let's go to my test. And okay, now everything works, and it realizes it doesn't need that anymore. But now let's make this internal. And it fails again. So it's not the namespaces. This is obviously a bug, but I can't reproduce it. Well, I can reproduce it, but I can't reproduce it in a test. And like if I take this out of here and I try to run this, now it fails. And it fails because it doesn't even make this type. Right? So if I say public here, then it passes, as it should. If I say internal here, what happens now? Now it fails. Both of them fail. Which is right, because there's only one member here and the thing is internal. And this isn't visible. What happens if I do this though? Then it all passes again. Oh, this sucks. This raises the level of the debugging process rather high, because I can't fix it if I don't know, if I can't reproduce it in a test. Maybe this would work now. I like keeping this code around because when you get to beta versions of stuff, you can do this to get like the version you want. But that works now. That shouldn't matter. That definitely shouldn't matter. I am not sure what the... Yeah, I think... I just figured out what the name of the assembly is that's created. And And again, with my other example, it clearly works if this is public. Even if this is internal. This all goes away. But if I take that off, then this is definitely not going to work, because it doesn't even generate it anymore. Now this should work. If I make this 2, it goes away, as it should, because it doesn't. Well, this is definitely a problem. And I am using Rox 9. That was the latest version to get published. So that's what I'm using locally. So that should be fine. I'm stuck. The only thing I can think of is to do some very odd things with debugging to try to debug Visual Studio itself, while that example that I have, I'm changing things and then step into Random.Code somehow, and I don't even know if that would work. Let's get this back to the so that was public and internal. See, I thought I'd already be into, oh, it's this, and I'd move on. But the fact that this is actually even working is like, what the hell? And that's not the namespace. That's not what I wanted. References. I don't know how loading works. Wait a minute. So I was thinking, is there some weird thing because this is it's like keeping the one that it did first in there, and it's getting stuck thinking that that's the one that has to be in. I don't know. Let me just make sure that there's so this is now a list, and this is about 82, which makes sense. None of these look like anything Um, hmm. It's funny, Newtonsoft is still showing up. So when I say parse this, I get a source reference. And I say add it to source references. So we were at 82 and now we're at 83, right? Yeah. So it does get added, as I expect. I don't know, I was just thinking there might be some weird... thing about it being cached in some odd sort of way. But I don't think it is. I think every time you run this, it is a new execution, so this would be refreshed. Though it is interesting to think about the fact that if these two tests run, no, you're getting your own copy of the list. Never mind. Okay, so that's not the issue. I mean, it's according to the test, it's doing the right thing. You know? And that's what's weird is according to the test, it's fine. Well, I'm unfortunately stuck. I know I have an issue. I know I have a problem. I don't know how to get around it. Well, let me restate that. I don't know how to recreate it. Well, let me restate that. I do know how to recreate it. I don't know how to recreate it in a unit test. This should have reproduced it, and it's not. This ends up working just fine. It says, yep, that's good. But clearly here, it does not work. Making this data stuff thing internal will break it. Well, that's funny because it says it is inaccessible abstract members and cannot be mocked. And see, even if I put it into, like here, I don't think it would work. I don't think it would actually get into the source of rocks to debug it. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just bothered that I can't even get it to fail in a unit test. It should definitely fail. And it's not. It's actually working the way I think it should work. Let's, I guess... And I know I have this set up right because if I would take this out of the code, it would then fail. And it's like, nope, I can't generate anything. So... what am I trying to do here? So at some point here, yeah, we do this. We do method discovery. This is an interface. So we do it for an interface, right? It is an interface. So we have something here. If the method can be seen by containing assembly. That's what I think it's failing on when I run this. And it returns all the mockable methods. So can be seen by containing assembly. What does that do? It takes the method symbol. I mean, it's clearly looking at all the parameters to see, can their types be seen by the containing assembly? And the type parameters, can they be seen? And can the return type, if there is one, be seen? So with the symbol, so if it's internal, and it's always internal. If it's public, it's easy. If it's internal, is the containing assembly the same as the assembly that the type is in? And that would be true, except in this case it's false because it's in a different assembly. And does it expose internals to the containing assembly? See, here's the thing. This works because, again, if I have internals visible to, the interface is internal, but the method parameter type is public, it works. So, what does this look like? It's not a type parameter. It's not dynamic. It's not a function pointer or a pointer type. It's not an array symbol either. Oh, jeez. If the type of the parameter is public, well, that's weird. Why would I? Huh. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out in my head how. Like if I'm looking at the method and I say go through all the parameters, go through all of them, and all of them need to, their types need to be able to be seen by the containing assembly. That is the assembly that Rocks is currently being referenced in. This thing. Yeah, the compilation assembly. That is the assembly. And so if we go to the type here, did you ever look at code and go, why did you do it this way? I don't understand what this our type parameter is visible. Because we come to here, and if it's a type parameter and we say true, I guess we're trying to look at to say if it has type arguments. If it's not a named symbol, then you can't even look at type arguments. But what happens if you don't have any? It says all here. I would imagine this has to work. Because this is saying on the type symbol, does it expose its internals to that? And I'm pretty sure this works because if I change the name of the string and the internal is visible to, it would fail. So I'm pretty sure that all works. And this is a case where the assembly should be different. So we'd have to go through this and say our type parameter is visible. Something is causing this to come back and say it's false when I'm running it in the small example that I have. Something's coming back and saying, nope, it's... It has to be running into this code. And it's got to be thinking it's either internal or public. So something with this code when I'm doing it in this example, it's causing it to fail. Yeah, I didn't think it would make a difference. I just realized though that my test just had this as just a record that has no value, but this is still yeah, it clearly does. It clearly has members that you should be able to do. And just changing this to public makes that work. Of course, now this is failing because it thinks you need a GUID there and you don't. That's a different story. Okay. See, this is the thing that you're supposed to do, is create a test and show that it fails. So that's what I'm doing here. And these aren't in namespaces. That's not, it's not a namespace thing. It just literally cannot. And if I come here and I say like rock internals test 2, it's going to fail. Yeah, because now it can't see anything. It is funny that it still puts the colorization on this when it shouldn't. Because you really should not be able to go there. You really should not be able to see that. Yeah, now it's even saying it's inaccessible due to its protection level. So it's like, yeah, I know you're there, but... And now it all works. I am... I'm kind of frustrated, to say the least. I thought this would be a walk in the park, at least to get the test running, so that it would actually fail the way I expected it to. And if I do this, that's definitely going to cause it to fail. Yeah. I don't know. I think I might have to stop the stream and just be like, work on this on my own time, because this seems like a very deep issue that I obviously don't understand. I'm almost convinced that it has to be here. Something at this line of code when I'm running it in by referencing the NuGet package in that model, that's somehow causing a problem. And I don't know what. I mean, I'm just grasping at straws here at this point. I really don't know. Like I thought, well, this actually has a reference to rocks. So that's in the source references. In my other example, rocks is not part of the source references. So is that the issue? Like, I know that there is more probably being referenced here than what would be, but no, it's the test stuff. So that I don't know. Let's see, there is rocks here. Okay, so I don't know. How would I test? This is just... this is quickly becoming one of the hardest bugs I've ever had to face. I don't understand. I really, really don't understand why this being internal would cause all this to fail. I mean, could do that just for shits and giggles. I don't know. Just be like, hey, it's got the same references. Does that matter? Probably not. Yeah, it doesn't give a shit. Sorry. It's just, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's reload that. I mean, this is a bug. I just can't, and I can reproduce it, but I can't reproduce it controllably such that I can figure out why it's saying in this case that it doesn't work. Let's go to this and take those out because obviously that had nothing to do with it. I didn't think it did, but I was just like, I'm grasping at straws. Just gonna try it. I'm throwing things at the wall at this point. So what happens if this is public? This is internal. And we say other stuff. Other stuff. Yeah, that one is still just tripping it up. It doesn't matter. This has to be public. And then it works. And of course now this is wrong because it thinks it needs other stuff. There we go. And of course that doesn't work now because you need that. Okay, Jesus, I don't know. Am I doing something wrong? No, it's the children that are wrong. It all works because if I change this here, things suddenly aren't visible at all. Nothing's visible. Or if I take this off, it doesn't work either. And I'm like, maybe I should. See, I have tests like this already. Even something like this, where I'm saying this is a protected one in a list, I'm able to determine that I can't see it because of that reason. Same thing here. This should come back as false. This comes back as true. Because it is public. The only reason I make it a nested class is because you can't have a protected class outside of being nested. So, what I don't have this is all compiling it. Wait a minute. I'm getting the symbol from a compilation. Which is fine. I'm technically not using a different containing assembly. I'm not sure if that even matters. What I'd really want is a test here that says um, focus in on this. But as you can see with this test, it's working just fine. I don't understand. I have to get it to fail the way I am able to get it to fail the way I am doing it here. And I can't. This should be failing. This should not be working. But it does. This is basically our test assembly. This is the reference assembly. And we're passing all that in down here, as we should be. If this... Man, I am lost at this point. I'm really lost. It's a bug. I know it's a bug. I can clearly demonstrate it's a bug, but I can't write a test to show that it's a bug so that I even have a chance of figuring out what the problem is. And until I do that, I can't fix this, because I'm gonna end up in the world where all I'm going to be doing is literally just changing stuff until I think it's finally working. I mean, I guess I could... I wonder if I did this. Rocks, local internals. And let's put it with rocks source. Why does it do this? I hate that it puts it into a directory. I really don't understand why it does that. That is so annoying. But what I want to do here is try to say, fine, just bite the bullet. Let's go into repos here, JSON, rock source, and let's cut that. Oh, no, we can't do that, because we currently have it open. delete that. What I want to do now is basically do this by referencing rocks as a project like I'm doing with integration tests. So because I'm like, maybe that gives me a chance of being able to debug this. Let's do that. And then let's add an existing project. Rocks. And then let's do an add a new project. Just take class library. I'm going to call it rocks source test. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care. We just don't care. What do I want to do here? Internals visible to rocks reference test. And that should be assembly. And that should be above here. There. So now we want a public interface. We're going to put everything in here. Public sealed record data stuff. Oh, for God's perform. I don't care. For F's sake. I'm losing it. Okay, so now we want to have an assembly here. Now we want to say so we want to call rocks reference tests. Wait a minute, no, let's back up here. Let's make it an end unit reference test. And get rid of that. And get rid of this. No, 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 no. You are referencing an unit. For God's sakes. What is the problem here? Static void. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Run the test. What? Just, oh my God, just run. What is the problem here? Failed to restore. Why? What's the problem? Do you ever feel like you're just fighting stuff for no good reason? Why are you complaining? Packages. Why? What? Why? Why are you complaining? Build. Build. Projects that use central package version manager. Oh, because... Yeah. That's why... because it's picking up, no, not that I'm using central package management, and now you work. Okay, but what we want to do is kind of like what I'm doing with the integration test project, which is we want to add in that. Because this, and that should work. So now what I want to do is I want to add above the namespace, I'm going to say assembly, rock, using rocks, type of, what was the thing I called it? I do stuff. Oh wait, I need a reference to a project, which is source. Right? You should have that. Let's just do create. Why are you not? What? Huh? What? Okay, sorry. That was just, for a second I'm like, that has got to work. There we go. Okay. There. Now let's come back here. Let's make this internal. That's still good. Let's make this internal. It fails. Good. At least now I have a chance. Because now I've got this where it's referencing rocks locally. And this will be tough to do. Isn't there a way now in 2022 to say basically don't isn't there a way? Why are you saying ignored? Aliases, copy local, culture, embed, identity. Isn't there something in Visual Studio 2022 source generators options? There's something that I thought I saw once that 1712, because I think it just changed. I'm just grabbing anything at this point. Nothing. I am almost positive I've seen something that says feature search generator. Yeah, that ain't helpful at all. What I would like it to do is only run the generator on build. And I thought there was a way to say in 2022 I thought there was a way to say you can change when it's being loaded or when it's being executed, but I cannot find that right now. That ain't gonna help at all. It's not a debug option. At least I'm almost positive it is not a debug option. Okay, so run code analysis. Oh, that's what I should be looking for. Run code analysis. I already got that clicked on separate process. Source gen. Here we go. After, oh, so that's what they changed. Okay, so I did find it. All right, cool. This is balanced. It runs generators after saving or building. So I could change it and that would run. So if I put a debugger break at that point in code, then I would be able to figure out potentially. So let's try that. Let's go into here. So I would go to interface here. Not that it matters, but that's the path it's going to go down. So I believe I would get there. So if we said debugger break, that. We come in here and we say internal save. It's not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work is because it's already loaded. And so if I change it, it's not going to pick up the change. I think that's what it's doing. What? What? That makes no sense whatsoever. What? This was clearly failing before. Right? That all failed, but it's not actually generating. Oh, is it getting into that stupid thing where it's actually, because it's referenced, it doesn't show you the generate? Yeah, now we're getting the errors. Yeah, now it picks up, oh, I should have that. Passes. Great. Now if we change this. Even though I clearly have a debugger break. Why? Why? that should at least be causing it to say is it just not even I don't understand this at all. I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get this. God, what a bust of another stream. It won't launch. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a moron. At least I can admit it. I am a moron. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so the method is perform. Hit abstract. So if it can't be seen, but we need to be able to see, can it be seen? So this is the symbol itself. I feel better now, at least for now, because I can see this. I can see this happening. So the declared accessibility is public. What am I actually looking at here? Wait, what is... Oh, sorry. This is the actual method. The method is public because it is the... okay. Fine. Because we've looked at just the method itself. Now we're going to be looking at parameters. So the next one that we should step into is this one. And the type is data stuff. What happens here? What is the type kind? It is a class. So we're going to skip all this. And what is its accessibility? It is friend. When a friend is not your friend. Internal. Wait a minute. Declare accessibility as friend. Internal. Is that actually friend? Maybe this isn't it. Okay, so never mind. Is there such a thing as accessibility? Not accessibility. Accessibility friend. That's a 4. What about internal? Is also 4. They're the same thing. Yeah, it's like I think because friend is the same as internal and Visual Basic. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Sorry, language. Okay. Now we need to say, what's this? Are they the equal ones? Then they shouldn't be, because the containing assembly here is source test. This is reference test. That's true. So they don't equal. Now, what about this? It does not. Why? System runtime compiler services internal visible to attribute. This is where writing my own well, here it is. There's 4. Well, actually 5, but that's the index 4. So self.get attributes 4. Let's just make sure that's consistent. Reference test. Okay. Is the attribute class is not null? It's not null, true. What is its name? Internal's visible attribute. So that would be equal to internal's visible attribute name. That's true. Okay. Now, what about its containing namespace? To your display string. And is that equal to internal's visible attribute namespace? That's also true. Is the attributes classes containing assembly name equal to internal's visible attribute to assembly get name name? False. Why is that? This is system runtime. This is MS Core Lib. Mother effer. I'm praying to the science gods right now. Watch as a software developer goes nuts. Yeah, that's true. Let's just see what would happen if I did the last one here. If I said constructor arguments of 0 value. Okay, so it does have constructor arguments. But it's unable to run this expression. I would imagine this is okay. Like, this is fine. But the attributes, yeah, this is the problem. And so this well, I'm not going to be able to fix it now because I got errands to run, things to do, people to see, blah, blah, blah. But I at least have now figured out where the problem lies. And I think if I'm going to do one more thing before I stop the stream. I think if I run this in the test, the unit test, these two are going to come back and be true. So this is in dot supposes internals too. Is that these two values don't equal. And so this fails. Okay, well, I got this. So the last thing I want to do is let's stop this. Cancel. Where do I want to do it? Mockable method discovery. Yeah. Let's take that out for now. And let's go back to rocks. I will say this, I've learned a new trick. I can do this. I've been playing the Tomb Raiders. Oh, for God's sakes. Stop it, stop it, stop. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, that makes this almost untenable. Okay, let's try this now. Please don't go off the deep end. Wait, where did I put it? Huh? Mockable method discovery. So if I go into rocks... Oh, that's the class. Sorry. Yeah, I did do that. Okay. Okay, cool. Now... let's go here. Let's do this. Except... iAssembly symbol extensions. iAssembly symbol extensions. I suppose it's innards too. Exposing innards. All right. Let's run this under the debugger. Okay, so what do I got here? What is self.name? What is the call stack here? Yeah, so we're... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. I was a little off for a second. So let's say self get attributes. Right, it's a length of 1. I believe you. So what would 0 be then? It is the internals visible one, which makes sense because that's the only one we've added. Okay, so let's do this, except we need to say 0 here. That's in a test. And now let's do that. And they're the same. Note that in a unit test, they end up being the same, so the test will pass. So that's the problem at runtime. These two are not the same, and it makes sense because it's all about type forwarding and where the type is actually literally defined. So it kind of makes sense that this is not, that you're getting two different answers based on where you're running it. I don't have time to fix this right now, so maybe I'll do a stream after lunch to work on this and go, well, what is the right thing to do here? Because what my mentality was with this is to say, you know, that I want to make sure that this internal visible attribute is the same one that is in that's actually here. And I don't think there's really any way to do that safely. So the thing I was trying to prevent it is if somebody actually created a attribute with system runtime, well, whatever the hell it is. System runtime compiler services internals visible to, like, they would make a attribute with that exact same name except in a different. This might be overthinking it. This might be overthinking it and saying, you know, is that really ever going to happen? You've checked the name. The names are the same. The namespaces are the same. But do you really care that the attribute's assembly name that it came from is the same? Are they actually the same? And I had to be careful here. I was reading this as a not equal to. But what this is also saying is the value of what's in the constructor argument, is that equal to the basically containing assembly where Rox is being referenced in the test project. I think the way to fix this is just to remove this. But I don't want to do that right now because, one, I have to go to the bathroom, and two, I've been streaming for about an hour and 40, being frustrated as hell. And I do have to run some errands. But we did have success. That is the good thing. And I learned something. I learned a way to debug this, which is just to create a solution, put debugger launch, not debugger break. I make that mistake all the time. That's just saying break here when you're in the debugger. I need to actually say launch to then launch it, and then I need to remove it and then rebuild and then go in the back. But at least I was able to figure out why it happened. So that's good. That actually removes a lot of stress, because if I was not able to figure it out, I don't know if I ever would have landed on this line of code being where the mistake is. So I think that's the solution. So with that, I'm going to stop the stream for now. I may do a quick coding stream in the afternoon just to see, does this confirm everything that I think that I think I just figured out. And it'll be good to go on a break and noodle this in my head as I go and run some errands. But with that, I am going to stop. So if you're watching or you watch this later, thank you for watching. Also, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm kind of glad I did this because this does show the frustration sometimes of what it takes to build code. This one was complicated. You know, again, I had to come up with a way to reproduce this in some way, shape, or form such that I could figure out where the problem was. I couldn't do that in a unit test right away. And that was becoming very concerning because if I can't do it there, but I definitely see that there's an issue, how am I going to be able to figure this out? And then it dawned on me, create a separate solution and make that happen there. And that actually showed it to work. So I'm glad I did this in the stream because it definitely, to me, shows that writing software is sometimes can be a very, very tricky endeavor. And thankfully I landed on the problem. Hopefully this afternoon I can do a short stream and come to a solution, but that will be this afternoon. So again, if you're watching or you watched later, thank you for doing so. Please subscribe. And with that, I am going to end the stream. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the future.